Welcome back, and today I am joined by the new Scottish backyard ultra champion, Thomas Hugon, um, who I'll let him explain how he ended up in Scotland and all that good stuff. But we'll start off with how did you get into running?
Good afternoon, Mike. I got into running when I first moved into Orkney. I needed something to do, and I got inspired by one of my lecturer at the time, who was an ultra runner as well. And yeah, I got started like that because I needed something to do. I was a student, had no money, no car, and I just needed to spend some energy. So yeah,
You're a student, and we all know that running is the cheapest thing when you buy 10 pairs of trainers a year.
yeah. Um, no, I started running. I had an old pair of those 5 finger Vibram shoes.
Yep.
And I decided to run the Hoy half marathon. Hoy is an island off the mainland of Orkney. And the first ever run, I went with those shoes to train for the half marathon. I injured my calf for like 3 weeks after it. um, but yeah, that was good fun.
Do you? I've run in Vibrams as well. I can't think. I used to run in metal trail gloves as well. They're
Oh yeah,
similar, zero cushioning, but they don't have the toes. I ran 53 miles in them,
all
and
right, okay.
I find that they are a tool. Wouldn't necessarily say running them all the time, but I find them a good tool. What's your opinion on them, other than getting injured?
Well, I mean, no, I've since then I've never really ran in them again. I think I still have the shoes, but I just found them not great to run in like kind of steeper downhill, so that kind of put me off of it. But I still run in zero drop and kind of slightly minimalistic. Well, not. I'm not a big fan of like super big cushion shoes, so
Yeah.
um, still kind of yeah. I'm not in like perfectly minimalistic shoes either, but I like the zero drop. I think it makes sense to run with like a more natural foot position, really.
What kind of shoes is it you're normally running in now?
Uh, Mostly those innovates, uh, whatever they're called, Trailfly 270.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so
Yeah. I'm ultras is what I'm normally going for. They're zero drop as well.
yeah, I've had a few pairs of ultras as well. They're good. I had a pair at the backyard ultra. Uh,
Good to hear. I forgot to actually look to see what you were wearing at the weekend.
uh, yeah.
But anyway, getting back to what we're supposed to be talking about. Um, what was your first race that you did?
So yeah, my first race was the Hoy half marathon, which
Oh
was
yes,
um yeah, I did like an hour 51, I think, or something like that. And my first long distance race, or like not necessarily long distance, but long hours race, was the Ring of Steel in Kinlochleven,
yeah.
which is only 29 kilometers and it's got 2,500 meters of elevation. So I still took a fair bit of time to do that. And that got me qualified to do the Highland Fling, which was my first ultra.
Okay. And I'm going to interrupt the running talk. How did you end up in Orkney?
I ended up in Orkney I came to Orkney as an exchange student from my French university. I I selected the course and amongst multiple choice I had it, and then I got accepted by the course. And then one of my pals said, "But do you know where Orkney is?" And I said, "Well, no, it's in Scotland. It'll be fine." And he said, "Maybe you should look it up." And so yeah, it was a bit unexpected, shall I say? But I mean, it's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years next month that I've been in Orkney, so I guess it worked out fine for me.
Yeah. And you met a girl, stuck with Orkney, and the rest is history.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I've now a girlfriend, a house, and a cat, and yeah, that's me stuck, I think. But it's all good. I mean, my partner, she's accepted to come and crew for me at the race, so I
Well,
can't complain.
that's commitment for you.
Absolutely.
So, you said that you did the Skyline, right? Then was it Skyline?
the Ring of Steel.
Yeah, Ring of Steel. I don't know if they call that a Skyline race, but yeah, it was one of the Salmon races at the festival. Let's call it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I did the Glencoe Skyline
Okay.
2 years ago as well. That was hard.
I've done it as a run, never as part of the race.
Yeah, so. It's interesting to like try and run down steep rocky descents when like the tallest hill we've got on the Orkney mainland is 200 meters tall and just got farm tracks on it.
Yeah.
But hey
I guess being up in Orkney, you're used to wind. As one thing that I'm 50 meters from the coast, and wind is a massive thing here. So I'm sure Orkney is quite the same.
Yeah, the wind and the brutal wind like all year round, really. That's just what we do here. That's like so every time I go anywhere now, I'm like, oh, this is nice and warm. When my parents came, oh sorry.
Oh no, keep going.
When my parents came up for the race, they messaged and said, "Oh, it's only 19 degrees. It's really cold," because they were just coming up from France. And I said, "It's 19 degrees. It's really hot," because I was coming down from Orkney. It's been 13 degrees all year so far. So that was quite funny.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same as where I am. I'm just north of Aberdeen, so it's similar conditions. So we're a hardy bunch. I did a race in March, and it was 4 degrees. And I told the race director that anybody sort of north of Hadrian's Wall's got an advantage here because we're used to such cold temperatures. Everybody else is used to like 10 degrees warmer than us. So
that's true.
It was an advantage us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So getting back to your running, have you got any standout races that you've done?
I think, well, I mean, I did the Diagonale des Fous, which is 100 mile with nearly 10,000 meters of elevation across the Réunion Island, which is an island in the Indian Ocean near Mauritius, near Madagascar. So that was my second 100-mile race, and that was amazing. Such a beautiful trip altogether. So but that was also brutal.
Without the French accent, is that Diagonal des Fous? Is that the same? Yeah. On Reunion Island. Just I'm matching up the same race.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So that was good. And then last year I did the race across Scotland, which I suppose is also a pretty big achievement. And yeah, that was also interesting in terms of weather conditions, I suppose.
What was it like there?
It was really wet. It was really, really wet. The first night was like a 27 odd mile section through long grass fields and bogs, and I think that destroyed the race for most people that dropped out. It's basically people that survived that night survived the rest of the race, really.
How do you think you survived it? What did you do different?
I just I think I've got a product that works quite well on my feet. I use this squirrel nut butter happy toe thing, and seems to be working pretty well for my feet anyway. So,
well, if it works for you, stick with it.
Absolutely.
And this weekend, another obviously standout race was
I suppose
the backyard ultra at Blair Athol. But you've done your previous best was 27, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And have you done any other ones? Yes, you did. You did Gospey last year because I was there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure How much did you do at Gosby?
I did 25 in Gosby. So
Okay,
yeah, I
so
did 27 hours in Orkney 2 years ago, and that was my first backyard. I got the assist to Ian Harrison that you had on the podcast before,
okay, yeah.
and yeah, that was quite hard. Because it was just like a lovely day, but it was really, really windy too. So that made it interesting. And then last year in Goldsby, yeah, I did 25 hours. That was kind of like to see if my legs had recovered from the race across Scotland. So I guess they were fine.
So you got looked after by Sarah and I can't even remember the other person's name that runs the Twats.
Oh yeah, that was Erica, I think.
Erica, yeah, that's the one up in
Yeah.
Orkney. So they do the backyard up there, and then Ian won that race, but he looked after you in Gosby as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So that was good.
small circle.
Small world, the
Yeah,
north of
small world.
Scotland.
Yeah. So, and then this year you've obviously came back to the Highlander. Had you changed anything from what you were doing at the other two races and other two backyards to?
Yeah, I mean, so the Orkney Backyard Ultra was my first, and I was interested by Backyard Ultra because I thought, oh, it's an interesting concept. Just, explore the mind games and like I feel like puts maybe even more uh, emphasis into like your mental strength than like a normal ultra. So that's what got me into it, I suppose. But yeah, for the Highlander this year, I was like just went in with the goal to qualify for the GB team for the satellite event in October. So that I took the decision after I ran the Goldsby one. I thought, right, I'll go for it this year because the numbers to qualify were still kind of accessible in terms of how many loops you needed to do. So I got involved with a coach, uh, Paul Wilson from Summit Ultra, because he had experience from backyard ultras. So I thought, right, let's see if he can get me into it.
Yeah,
And
Paul was on the
Paul,
team last time round, I think,
yes,
after
that's right.
winning in. No, he got the assist to. Now you're testing me here. Assist to Sarah
Uh,
Perry at Cowshed, is that right?
I've
And he won at. Did he win at Lionsgate 2 years ago?
don't know,
Not
but
sure about
something
it.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, we started working together I think basically in January, really. And I had signed up for the Cowshed in April and the Islander as my backup race. If I hadn't managed to qualify at the Cowshed,
yeah.
and then turns out the Cowshed got cancelled because of flooding. So the Highlander became my main race. But
So what kind of training do you do without divulging Paul's secrets? Because obviously he's your coach, but compared to what you would normally do for a sort of standard ultra as you were, how does it differ?
um, I think the weekly training was. I mean, the training when I started training with Paul was similar structure to what I used to do, which was to like focus sessions during the week and an easy run during the week, and then two longer runs at the weekend. Uh, I guess the biggest difference is Paul got me to do like very much backyard specific long runs at the weekend. So I did a lot of loops, ran my my area really. I created like a loop that was similar stats to what was the Islander and just did some repeats on that during the weekend, practicing food and stuff like that.
And then the Blair Athol estate went and changed the Highlander course.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if the course was actually that much different compared
Uh,
to the
I,
year
I,
before. I don't know.
I think about probably between half and 2/3 were the same as before. The main
Okay.
hill was the same,
Yeah.
but last course you started on a tarmac hill. This
Mhm.
time you went through two fields, the second one being long grass. So
Yeah.
although you're missing out a hill, it was on tarmac. You're adding a field which is flat, but it's long grass. So
Yeah.
I did the loop 3 times out with the race this year, and I would have said it was comparable.
Okay.
Other people said that it was totally different, but I think Grant Jean said it was easier this year than it was last year. But
Yeah. Some people preferred this year. Some people preferred last year, I think.
yeah, I think it's just personal preference. There wasn't much
Mhm.
in it.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So going back to the coaching, I think the biggest difference was just doing loops at the weekends and practicing a bit more, like feeding and yeah, just running that backyard ultra pace, really.
Okay. And
So
and what is backyard ultra pace?
for me, I'm part of the slow gang. Not like you. You're one of the fast looper. I'm a slow looper. So I was aiming for like 50 odd minutes per loop, 51. So just taking it really easy, and so
Yeah,
yeah, that's the pace. Yeah.
I'm usually 44, 45, 46 minutes. So compared to you, but compared to some people at the weekend, they were doing sub 40s. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
but again, personal preference, that does not work for me. So it's
Yeah,
whatever works.
absolutely. Yeah, and I did like the first few loops. At the Highlander, I was running. I thought I was like running too slow, even from what I trained. So I put on a bit more pace, and then I suppose then it balances out. Once you get tired, you just yeah, it evened
You
out.
naturally slow down. So yeah.
Yeah, but
So
51 minutes seems to work for me anyway. So
yeah, good. As long as you've got enough time to do what you need to do when you get back. So
mhm.
yeah. Um,
I had my perfect crew, so I can't complain. They took care of me, so
yeah, I was
that's
just always to ask who was your crew?
my crew was my partner who came with me from Orkney, and my parents came up from France as well. So I was quite lucky to have three crew with me. They managed to get a bit of sleep and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. And your coach, he was there as
yeah.
well?
My coach surprised me and turned up on the at the end of the 100-mile loop, and he said, yeah, it was good for to see him appear. I'd never met him before
Okay.
because he's based in England and obviously I'm in Orkney, so we'd never met in person before.
That's
So that was good. That was good of him
yeah,
to turn up.
a good morale boost, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just and keeping me focused and keeping me onto my objective. So
yeah.
that
And
was
what's been the feedback from the crew? Are they happy with your performance? What did they say you should change?
uh we've not had a proper debrief yet. I think we need to change the tent because the tent we had was really leaky when it was raining a lot. So they were not pleased with that.
Yeah,
Um, so that's one thing we need to change for sure. But I think the rest of it was fine. We had loads of food and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think one thing that could help them maybe is to have like a bit more ideas on what food to prepare for me that I like to eat and stuff. But that'll also come with experience from
yeah. I
them to
guess
know what I like in a race.
doing the race, doing the crew for you, that gets them the experience, not just you. It's like you can improve, but that's how they improve by experience.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, they had crewed for me, all three of them, at the race across Scotland last year. So they're getting pretty good now, really. No
yeah.
criticism from me.
I'm not sure that you can criticize them. You're just grateful for them looking after you.
Absolutely. My mom kept offering to change my socks, but I said no, I'll keep doing that myself.
You're old enough to do that yourself now.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's been uh, okay, it's Thursday today, and the race finished uh, early
Very
hours Monday
early on
morning.
Monday. Yeah.
So have you slept since then? Because, well, I'm sure you've slept, but are you in a proper sleep cycle again?
Uh, yeah, I've slept very quite poorly after just after the race. Like, we had a wee celebratory drink after the race was finished, and then I went into the van, and I think I was awake. Well, yeah, I went to bed at about 2 in the morning. I think I was awake by 7 because just I had terrible night sweats, and then my legs were just so sore. I just couldn't get comfortable in the van. So that was me. And Karen, my partner, she was sleeping next to me, and I was like, "Come on, do something." No, I let her sleep because I thought, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday night, Monday night, we camped in Lairg. We did a bit of tourism because we had to wait till the next evening to get on the boat back to Orkney. So slept better that night, but still not very late in the morning because, yeah, again, my legs were still a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get to some proper sleep soon.
So talking about logistics, was it Wick to I'm not even sure what the name of the term is. It Wick where you get the ferry over,
No, I
or
get the ferry in Thurso, in Scrapster,
Thurso?
next to
Yeah,
Thurso,
Scrapster.
yeah.
That's the one. No, that's what I was thinking of. I'm just rubbish with geography.
Um, yeah. So yeah, the ferry in Thurso, and then it was like, well, it's about 4.5 hour drive to Blair Athol. So we did that on Thursday and Friday last week. So yeah, in Orkney, it's always a day or two of traveling before you can get to any races. So you have
Yeah.
to treat any race like a big race. You have to make the most of the time away from the island.
Yes. So you took the van down, so you obviously had enough stuff with you. You had your tent. So I can't imagine going down, like doing a race abroad and having to take all your kit for, well, you plan for 3 or 4 days, but on a plane, because all you can take is
Yeah,
your kit and that's it.
yeah. Well, yeah, no, that was a lot of kit we took away with us for the race, especially because having 3 crew with you is great, but you also need a lot more stuff to like for the crew because you need them to be comfortable as well. So you need more
Yeah,
like chairs and make sure that they have like enough food for them and stuff like that. So yeah, it's easier to have more crew, but it's also more logistics for sure.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, for the traveling abroad thing, I remember when I went to this race at the Reunion Island, um, I basically like took my cabin luggage I put all my race stuff in it because I was like, if my whole luggage don't arrive, at least I'll have my cabin luggage with me. So I don't care if my normal stuff don't arrive. I just want my my
yeah.
running stuff with me.
Uh, As long as you got your trainers and a pair of shorts, then you can,
Yeah, that's
and a
it.
credit card.
Yeah.
So you've rough sleeping. What about any injuries? Are you feeling any pain since the race?
No, no, I've been really, really surprised with how well my body responded to the race. No injuries, no niggles, just a bit of tiredness, but nothing, nothing out of order really. I've recovered pretty well. I probably yeah, we went to swim in the sea on Tuesday afternoon, so that helps. A bit of cold water on the legs, that helps with
Yeah.
recovery. But yeah, probably get into a bit of very light jog over the weekend or something like that, and then get back into easy training next week. I think that's what the coach said. So
He's the boss. You just do what
that's
you're
it.
told.
Yeah, yeah,
So uh, you went from 27 yards, and this time round you managed 37.
that's
So
right.
what's is 47 the next logical step?
Uh, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's for sure. It's a huge PB, and I went into the Highlander with like winning was a very nice thing because that was my first ever win on a race, you know, so my first ever trophy. So I was really pleased with that. But yeah, we that was kind of like an added bonus as to my main goal was to qualify, and I was ready to do whatever it took to qualify, which was either to run 40 hours to make sure I was high enough on the at-large list or win. Um, so yeah, I was ready to go in for a battle, and then yeah, with Rebecca, who did me the assist, she was already qualified for the Swiss team after 30 hours. So we decided that it made sense that we didn't tie ourselves up too much at the Highlander and save the proper fight to the October race. So
Yeah, you'll be racing virtually there.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, October race. We'll see what the next PB is. Hopefully, quite a few
Yeah,
more than 37.
yeah. Well, I'll be there as well, so we'll
Yeah,
both get up. Uh, my PB is 42, so you've got to beat that
yeah,
at least. So
yeah. And you.
yeah, working together, we are a team. So
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think that's gonna be a nice little difference uh, then because we will all be working as a team. This it's not like it's gonna be there's not gonna be anyone that you look from the corner of your eye being
yeah,
like, I hope you're getting tired now.
you
Everyone will be
want them to
like,
continue.
yeah, you want everyone to continue, so I'll be good. The cheery atmosphere, I think. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
I've been in the Scotland team 5 times now, I think, and
Okay.
I think a tactic that we don't use is we don't work as a team. We all race individually, and I think it's a mistake. So hopefully the UK team will work together more. So it's
Yeah, hopefully there'll be yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I've not met any other runners on the team, I don't think, so be
well,
looking forward to that.
technically,
But
technicality, it's only me and you that are in the team at the moment because we've got
okay.
silver tickets.
Yeah,
Although like John Stalker and Matt Blackburn, they've got 87, 88
yeah,
yards. Technically, somebody could still knock them out. So
yeah,
we've only got we're the only ones with guaranteed places at the moment. So we're
yeah, that's
privileged.
true. We're safe. But yeah, no, I think we'll be working as a team for that event. I'm very excited for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's well, that's all I've been thinking about for the last 6 months or so. Well, maybe not 6 months, March.
Yeah,
Well,
you
probably
qualified
for
in March, did you not?
yeah. So
Yeah.
leading up to March, it wasn't about that race. It was how do I get into the UK team. So
Hmm.
and now that I'm in, it's all you think about.
Yeah, excellent. So we'll have to discuss strategies together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm work as a team, so I'm happy
Yeah, I
to
think
talk about
so.
it.
I think that'll be the thing. That's yeah, my coach was saying that it's things that the Belgian team has done really well in the past is to really work all together as a team and that really obviously took them very far.
Yeah,
So,
some of the other countries actually they run together in training, but
all
you
right.
being in Orkney me being near Aberdeen, and probably the majority of the team being in the south of England, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
So, right, getting back to the questions.
Yeah.
Have you got any sponsorship?
No, I'm not sponsored. No, no, not yet.
No,
Maybe,
neither have I. If
maybe
anybody
I'll.
was, any company wishes to give something to either of us, then great.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure they're all listening to this.
Yeah, I'd appreciate like I really like Innovate shoes, so if I can get some free pairs, that'd be
Yeah.
lovely. Um,
So what kind of, you said you were Innovate shoes. Is there any other bits of kit that you particularly like?
um, Not really. No, I tend to go to buy kit that's on offer.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
Um,
I noticed you were wearing a running vest, a backpack type thing for
yeah,
the majority of the race, if not all of the race of the weekend.
yeah. I didn't do the first few loops. I did, yeah, without it because I thought I was gonna drink just at the break. So I was drinking in a lot of water, and I think I done well. I didn't like that strategy for a start because I think I was drinking a little bit too much, and also it just comes down on you too quick then, and you need to stop too often to go to the side and pee.
Yeah,
So yeah, I changed my strategy and then got the vest on and a bit of water in it, and towards the end as well when I was struggling to eat a bit during the break, I would take a gel or two with me and have them on the loop to supplement what I was eating at the camp. So the vest is quite handy, I think.
what were you eating at the camp?
To start with, I was eating like sandwiches with uh, like chocolate spread on it or peanut butter and jam, and then yeah, like bananas and sweeties and stuff. And then as the race went on, I found it, yeah, the thought of sandwiches was not great. So I went into a bit more like just really sweeties, and I was drinking this Mountain Fuel kind of um, food, liquid food thing,
Yeah,
and that went down really well. So I was quite pleased with that. Um,
I
yeah,
believe that Paul is a Mountain Fuel man.
yeah,
Yeah,
he got me on too. He got me to try that because I had tried Tailwind a lot of years ago, and I was not convinced by it because I think in the normal ultra it's hard to manage your hydration well with the Tailwind in it. Or at the time I struggled with it, and then so I got out of it. But yeah, I found the Mountain Fuel stuff really good then, so I'll probably train and experiment a bit more with it now.
and like you're saying sandwiches and stuff like that. What on a daily basis? What kind of food do you eat?
Um,
Or is it just a normal whatever?
just a normal diet, mostly vegetarian food. Uh, just try and eat well, but also sometimes I just have like well guilty pleasures of anything really. I
Yeah,
just eat quite a lot, I think, from normal standards, which is the case for most ultra runners, I think.
yeah. And somebody at the race at the weekend said to me, "How can you be so skinny if you eat so much?" I was like, "Well, that's because you run so much as well." So
Yeah. I don't run. I just run so I can eat more. That's my
yeah,
that's
that's you got to have a reason. So that's
yeah.
your why.
Um,
Uh, right, question that I always get asked and I can never answer. What do you think about when you're running?
it's just a lot of things, but yeah, I worked um with the race across Scotland last year. I worked with a mental preparation coach, a French guy who also does a lot of backyard ultra and like crazy long distance stuff. He's called Christian Mauduit. I don't know if you know him.
No, I don't know the name.
He was at the bigs last year. He didn't do so well. I think he had a little bit physical issues, but yeah, he is like a mental preparation coach. So we worked a bit on like what to think about during races. There's two ways to approach it, he says, but it depends. Like some days you try and sometimes, shall I say, I just try and think about like something completely different, like just be in a different place at a different time and be happy and warm. And sometimes you just like focus on the rocks in front of you and listen to the birds and listen to your breathing and try and think about nothing else. But yeah, it's difficult.
So when your mum told you that it was only 19 degrees and it was cold, you just told her to think about being warm, and that worked.
Yeah, that's it. And when they actually arrived at the camp with us, they also thought it was warm enough, so it was good.
Yeah. I think I remember your mum wearing a jacket most of the time, whereas a lot of us were in t-shirts. So it probably matches up.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That I mean it's 35 degrees where they live in France at the moment,
Yeah.
so can't.
I remember being in Sri Lanka about 20 years ago, and we were there sweating buckets, and the locals were wearing ski jackets. So it's just what you're used to.
Yeah, that's how we spot tourists in Orkney on a sunny day. Everyone's
Yeah.
in shorts apart from the tourists. They're still wearing woolly hats.
Yeah. So you talked about your training earlier. Do you do anything else other than running?
Um, yeah, for fun, I do a bit of surfing when conditions allow. Mostly in the winter because that's when we get waves. But like from a more related running thing, I try and do like the odd, strength, a little bit of strength training, but it's once or twice a week, maybe depends with work schedule if I can fit it in or not. Um, yeah,
Yeah. And a dirty word, because I don't do it, but do you stretch?
no.
You
I
tell Paul that you do, but you don't.
I tell my I go really well. I mean, not regularly, but at least once before every race, I go and see an osteopath, and then she says maybe you should stretch. But I only stretch for like when something starts to hurt a little bit, and then you
That's
stretch for like 2 weeks, and then the pain goes away, and then it's like, oh well, that's enough.
I'm in exactly the same position. So
Yeah. Right, you just forget about stretching when nothing hurts, I
yeah.
just don't remember it.
So you're doing backyard ultras at the moment. You've done 3. You've done a handful of other races. Have you got a preferred? Are you a backyarder now, or are you still going to mix it up?
I'm still gonna mix it up. I think I'd like as I said, being in Orkney, I can't do many races in a year. So I think I'll focus on backyard ultra for October, obviously, and then decide after that if I carry on doing backyards or if I probably I usually choose one main race in a year. So we'll see what that is. It's just so many different races, so many options. It's too much fun. Uh,
Yeah. And you're concentrating, you're limiting it down. Have you got a dream race that you want to limit it down to?
uh, Dream race at the moment. No, I guess. Well, yeah, I suppose a dream race, but I don't think I'll ever get to it. Would be Hard Rock 100. Uh, that would
It's
be
just
quite impressive. Like quite
yeah.
a cool race to do.
Yeah, it was on last weekend, was it? Or was it
Yeah,
the same
that's
time as
right.
Highlander? Yeah, and
No, I think
yeah,
it was the weekend
a week
before.
before.
Yeah,
Okay, and impossible to get in.
yeah, absolutely. So that's why it's a dream.
Yeah, I think I applied for it once, maybe 10 years ago, and probably should have kept on entering each year. I don't know whether do you get a better chance if you enter more than once?
I think you do. I don't know actually.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I might have gotten in by now if I kept on trying, but I tried it once and that was it.
yeah. No, so yeah, that would be my dream race. I I'm trying to avoid flying, so yeah, that kind of limits that also makes it into more of the dream race category.
Yeah,
Um, but one
is
race I
that
would like
for?
to,
Oh no, keep
yeah,
going.
just for environmental reasons.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
I agree with that. Good. I
um,
don't know how are you getting to Suffolk?
I'll drive. Yeah, it's a. I looked it up this afternoon. Actually, it's going to be like a 12-hour drive after the ferry, so it's going to be
Yeah.
a bit of a trek.
Well, I've been to Suffolk from where I stay, and it's pretty much 500 miles. So I was saying I will drive 500 miles to go and do this race, and I will drive 500 miles home. So
Yeah, that's good. Um, yeah, so yeah, the logistics to go down to Suffolk is going to be a good challenge. Uh,
interesting.
yeah, going to be another 2-day trip before the race even starts.
Yeah. So leading up to the race, or the race that you just done, or any race in general, do you get nervous?
Uh, I was pretty nervous last year before the race across Scotland. I think it's different before backyard. I was not too nervous, partly because it's something I worked on of being like in a more positive and well, I suppose more confident mindset about before a race. But I think when you know the length of the challenge and you're like, oh, that's going to be a big challenge, it's easier to get scared when you get into a backyard. You just don't know how long it's going to last, so you can't really be scared of it.
Yeah. And do you set targets for backyard?
Uh, yeah, I did set not well, I mean, I had one target which was 40 hours for the Highlander.
Yeah.
I had set some milestones to try and like break down a little bit the monotony of the whole thing. But I actually think like the first 24 hours were quite long actually. Like I called that the warm up. And then very quickly, then people started dropping out. So that keeps it interesting and I didn't really need the milestones to keep me engaged. Um, but yeah, I think it helps to have a little tick boxes to be like, right, that's
Yeah.
done. So
So if you didn't have the 40 yards probable safe qualification,
mhm.
do you think you would have set that 40 yards anyway? Or would it have been, would you have set a target?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have aimed that high to be honest, because yeah, I just remember when I did the backyard 2 years ago in Orkney, I'd said myself I was going to go 36, and I was nowhere near able to do 36. So going into this, I was like, 40 yards is going to be quite a lot. But actually, once I got into it, the legs felt great all the way throughout. So that was a good confidence builder there for me. So I was well
Was that
surprised.
was that you that set the target, or was it Paul, your coach, or was it just the qualification?
It was That's what needed done for the qualification. So there was no really any other option. I uh, I signed up for the coach and I said I want to qualify for the GB team. So that's what needed done. So that's what we got done. So yeah.
Right.
Um,
To wrap it up, What's next for Thomas?
What's next? Well, yeah,
We know what's
train.
next.
Yeah, the next will be, I think, adapting the training slightly for the Suffolk event, which I think is going to be a little bit more flat than what the Highlander was.
Yes, I've
So
done the old Suffolk course because they're changing it, but compared to Highlander, it is flat.
yeah, so I don't know how. Do you find that easier or harder, a flatter course?
It's just different. Rasselbach this year, I did 42, and it wasn't flat, but when you compare it to Highlander, it was flat, and I did 35. So around
Yeah,
about the same numbers. So,
yeah,
and then you think about Lions Gate last year, I think it was 20s, high 20s. I can't remember the exact number, 27 or 29. And it was more like what you'd be used to in Orkney, wind, coastal, undulating.
yeah,
People called it hilly. I didn't think it was that hilly. It had hills in it, but some bits were rough. I loved it.
yeah.
So, but
Oh, good.
again, that's just totally different than the other races. So I think you just have to be prepared for what's coming up.
Yeah, so I think that'll be what's next for me is just prepare for Suffolk.
Yeah.
Do more flat road. Well, I don't know if it's road, but just more flat running.
Yeah. Well, the old Suffolk course was mostly on forest trails, flat, but they've changed the course now. So I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll be surprised for everybody then.
Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you for your time today,
Thank you very
and
much for having me.
congratulations on being the Scottish backyard ultra champion, taking my title away.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Did I take your course record too?
No, it
Oh,
was Andrew Jackson the year before me, so I didn't have the course record.
all
He
right,
he had,
okay.
I think it was 39. His course record was,
Oh well.
but
Something for next year.
technically you've got the course record because it's on a different course, so
All right, okay.
you can have that one. So
Thanks very much for having me. It's been really good, and looking forward to seeing you in October then.
yeah, and so thank you and thank everybody for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.